Hi guys, if you want to see how I got this romantic soft pink glam look on my beautiful friend Pamini, then just keep watching. All products will be listed and linked in the description box below. First, I'm starting off by matching the perfect shade to her color and undertone. And then I'm combing her brows up and filling them in with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade espresso or black, or both. Sometimes I do an ombre. And then I'm carving out her brows with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Natural Beige. And I'm using a brush from a pack on Amazon. I'll link it in my Amazon storefront. Then I'm prepping her lips with some Vaseline. Then I'm taking a cotton round and using some Thayer's toner and just cleaning off any excess oils, dirt, or makeup that may be on her face. And I'm also asking her about any problem areas in her face and where she gets oily. And I'm also taking that toner down to her neck. Then I'm going in with the Thayer's Milky Hydrating Toner. And I'm using a brush from a different set on Amazon, which I'll link in my storefront too if you're interested. And I'm priming her face here, taking that toner all over and making sure I really work it into the skin. And then I'm going in with the e.l.f. Thirst Burst drops. I really like this under makeup, so I definitely use it on my clients as well. And I'm using the same brush to just really work it into her entire face down to her neck, making sure I get every area. A really flawless base starts with a good skin prep. Everyone knows that. Taking that around her brows. I didn't carve the upper part of her brows yet because I'm gonna do that probably with foundation, if I recall correctly. Then I'm taking this Real Techniques brush and adding some more concealer and really packing that in there and layering it evenly to prime the eyes for eyeshadow. And then I'm using another brush to blend out the edges so there's no harsh lines. And then using that same brush with a little bit of translucent powder, Laura Mercier translucent powder, to set that concealer. Then I'm using another flat, fluffy brush from Amazon, and I'm packing on a nude matte shadow in the brow bone area. And this is from the Juvia's Place Warrior palette. And I'm taking a brown warm shade as the transition with a fluffy brush, a fluffy crease brush. It's from Morphe, but it's discontinued. So I'm just buffing that in really well. Then I'm using another discontinued Morphe brush, unfortunately. And I'm dipping into the Huda Rose Gold Remastered palette now, and I'm using a pink deep burgundy shade on the outer crease. And then I'm going to use a warmer, brighter pink shade closer to the lid. And then I'm taking the transition back in to just blend it all together. And then I'm taking a Real Techniques brush and adding the brow bone shade on the lid, a nice nude matte shade. And then I'm just taking that burgundy shade again and tying everything together. And then I'm using a L'Oreal black eyeliner to line the tight line. And then I'm using the Inglot gel liner with a liner brush from Amazon to draw a baby wing and line the upper lash line. I like starting at the outer part of the wing and then making my way inwards. Then I'm using a makeup wipe to just clean up any mistakes I maybe made. And then I'm taking the It Cosmetics eye cream and prepping her under eyes for the base. Then I'm taking the e.l.f. brow gel and I'm just combing that into her brows. Then I'm taking the LA Girl Pro concealer in the orange corrector and I'm buffing that in with a Real Techniques brush under her eyes and around her mouth, anywhere that has a little hyperpigmentation. She doesn't have much, but I was going for a flawless base here, so we're color correcting. And then I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I'm putting that in her T-zone area and her smile lines. I actually forgot to put that before the corrector, but here we are. We're both laughing about it too. She's so great. And then I'm using the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation. I mixed, I think, 3 shades. So I don't remember what shades exactly I used. And I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush, the newer buffing brush. I don't love this buffing brush like as much as I love the old one, but it still gets the job done. So I'm just speeding up the process because I don't want to bore you guys, but I do want you guys to see the entire process. I put an initial layer and then I go over with another layer because for a flawless base, you really need to put a good amount of foundation, but we're going to go over it with a beauty blender so that you could take off the excess and really get that snatched complexion. You'll see. And now I'm bringing it down to the neck. Tell me this foundation match is not on point though. Now I'm taking the beauty sponge. This is from it's that viral brand that everyone was using. I think it's AOA, but I do get it from Amazon. It's not bad. You know, it's a good dupe for the beauty blender, although I prefer a beauty blender for myself, but for clients and for people that I'm using and disposing after, it does the job. I'm really carving out the under of the eyeliner. I'm taking it in every crevice of her nose. You know, I want to soak up any sitting foundation that's on her face. I don't want to have any cakiness. And then I'm adding the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. I think I mixed 2 shades here as well, but I'm adding that under her eye, on her chin, on her nose, her forehead, under her cheekbones, and above her lip. And then while that's sitting, I'm using a e.l.f. foundation brush or buffing brush with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toast, I believe, to contour her face. It's really subtle. I wasn't trying to go for a harsh contour. We're doing a soft glam. I believe it was a family member's party. So we were just trying to keep it, you know, simple and cute, as always. Now I'm taking the sponge to buff out the concealer. It's blending out so beautifully. It's the perfect shade. She looks so gorgeous already. She has the perfect complexion to me. I love her skin color. I'm pinching the sponge to really take it up close to the inner corner of the eyes. I'm sorry for the camera focusing in and out. I tried my best. I'm taking the sponge also right all the way up to the eyeliner so that I can kind of, you know, carve out the sharpness of the eyeliner to make sure it's really crisp. Then I get my powder puff ready and I just blend out any lines right under the eye before packing the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder under the eye with a powder puff I got on Amazon. It's already in my Amazon storefront, which the link to my Amazon storefront will be in the description box. But yes, I have, I believe, 2 different puff links there that I used and have gotten in the past and use right now. I do dispose of each one after every client, or I gift them to them. So I gave the sponge and puff to her, obviously. I really love the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is the translucent honey. So the translucent would have probably given her a little more brightening effect. Actually, it's a true translucent. So it looks bright at first, but over time it's a true translucent. Because I used to use that before the translucent honey even came out. So this is the translucent honey. So it's just really looking good for her complexion, and it's not too dark, which is what I was worried about. But I do have brightening powders just in case. She does smile a lot and gets smile lines, so I really packed this powder in around her mouth and everywhere else because I don't want the makeup to move. And anyone who says, they don't want powder, or they don't want this, or they don't want that, or they don't want too much this, like, you really, you saw what I did in this entire video. If you're still here with me, this is really the key to longevity. I've had almost every client, if not all, let me know that their makeup lasted till the next day. They fell asleep in it and it was perfect the next day. So not that I recommend you keeping your makeup on that long, but you get my drift. So while that powder is setting, I touch up her brows, I touch up her eyeliner. When you touch up the brows, sometimes it can get a little harsh in the front, so I take a little translucent powder on a small brush and I brush it in the front of the brows, and it makes it look really natural. Then I'm contouring, warming up, and bringing back dimension in her face with the MAC Studio Fix foundation powder in the shade NC47. It's my favorite. Actually, I don't think NC47. I think 42 or 43 or 45. One of those shades I used for her. I'm sorry, I said NC47 because that's what I use for myself. But yes, I use that powder on all my clients. It's what I built my kit with, and I'm not going to switch it out for right now just because they reformulated it. But I am on the hunt to look for a dupe for that powder, so let me know if anyone has one. Then I line her waterline with Rimmel's black eyeliner. I take some black eyeshadow and buff that in to her lower lash line, and then I take a little bit of the brown shadow from the transition shade on her crease into the lower lash line. Then I spray down her face with the NYX 8-hour finishing spray or fixing spray to melt all the powders down. And then I take the MAC lip pencil in the shade Cork and I line her lips, obviously. Ooh. I don't know about y'all, but to speak for like almost 15 minutes straight is kind of like, it takes a lot. I'm like literally salivating a little. I don't know how to explain it. So I'm lining her lips with Cork. It's a beautiful warm brown shade. I didn't have to put lashes on her, by the way, because she had eyelash extensions on already. She ended up putting mascara on it, but we'll get to that later on. So I'm just taking my time to really line her lips. I'm not trying to overline them. She has a unique shaped lip, so I just wanted to take my time and make sure I do it really neatly. And then I'm going in with the MAC lipstick in the shade Angel. I actually have it depotted in a View Set palette, so that's why I'm applying it like this. But I'm also using a lip applicator from Amazon to kind of like blend it in to the lip liner and take it up there all the way. It's such a beautiful shade. This is the original formula, the original angel lipstick formula. So I don't know what I'm gonna do when it's finished. Then I'm taking the NYX Butter Gloss, I believe in the shade Madeline or Madeleine, I believe. She doesn't really love gloss, but we put some on anyway because she looks better with lip gloss. I think all soft pink looks need a little gloss. I don't know. I used to be a matte girly 24/7, but lately I've been into the gloss. So now I'm going back with the lip applicator and just blending the lips again after applying some lip pencil again. Then I'm using, well, she's using the the L'Oreal? Yeah, the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Waterproof Mascara with a lash spoolie from Amazon, which I'll link in my Amazon storefront. And then I'm using the Discontinued Huda Medium Glow Obsessions palette to highlight her high points on her face. And I'm using an Amazon brush here with the Milani Baked Blush on her cheeks. It's such a beautiful blush. It's like literally the perfect shade for her. And then here I'm just brightening up and finishing off the under eyes with the Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder in the shade 2. And I'm using the same puff that I used from earlier. And then I'm touching up her brows again. I am a brow obsessed MUA, I'll be honest. And then I'm asking her here if she likes them, just to confirm, because I'm like a stickler and she's telling me they're good. She's feeling herself now. That's so funny. Oh, and then I actually sprayed her face with the Milani setting spray. I'm not sure what the name is called, but it's a really good setting spray. I really enjoy using it. It really makes the makeup last long and helps it not transfer. So this is the finished look. A nice, gorgeous, romantic, soft pink glam, perfect for date night, perfect for an event, which is where she's going to. I think it was a Sweet 16. If you enjoyed this look, then give this video a like. Leave a comment if you want to see another look, if you want to see us again. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.